Hello everyone, Mr. Storkin here. Welcome back to Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Today we are taking a look at Sothis, the little voice inside your head. Tell them be sure to like, comment, subscribe because it does help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and since there is no support conversations available with Sothis, we're just going to dive right into the battle. Because why not?
Defeat is unacceptable. Judgment upon
So yeah, we're going with the same team as last time. Yes, I'm ready to begin the battle.
and victory.
I wanted to do with Byleth, but Byleth I don't have in this one because, yeah.
Follow me.
So oh wow, Sothis, you're a prick. Yeah, that basically sums up Sothis. So Sothis is the sublime creator. She is the ultimate goddess that you ultimately pray to. This is a small little child who had lived for years but ultimately died. And in response, her daughter, who is Rhea by the way, attempted to revive her and experimented on many children on different people within the academy. If you were pregnant at the time, your kid was probably experimented on. And if your kid was experimented on, you should call Jimmy McGill, Esquire. He will solve all your law problems. We are currently in a situation with the Church of Saros, but they'll see you as soon as they can. Oh man, that feels so dated, but it felt like it worked. So yeah, Sothis was dead. The Sothis was dead to begin with, because that's a joke about the good old Christmas Carol. She was dead to begin with, and she was and all characters were a lot of the children, people who were pregnant at the time with child, were at the church, were experimented on in an attempt to revive Sothis. That is why Byleth can send Sothis, because Byleth was the one successful person to do so. However, in a horrible, horrible response, only he can experience Sothis. And with his power, with Sothis, he is able to sense things and actually be able to rewind time. It's one of the why Byleth didn't originally die in the first chapter, because he was teamed up with Sothis and they rewind time to make sure an event didn't happen. Now that ultimately did backfire too when it was Gerald's turn to die at the hands of Chronica, in which he was able to rewind time and allow an attempt to save Gerald, but Gerald's kind of like a fixed point event where even if they rewind time, it still resulted in the death of Gerald. Now this is why in the gameplay mechanic, Byleth can rewind time. It's a key aspect of his ability and is really helpful. It was just surprising it didn't come back in this main game. So yeah, with Sothis in his head, they ultimately do forge to become one, where you don't really hear Sothis anymore. It's one of the things that you hear, mainly what happened with Arven in this game, why Arven kind of disappeared. Sothis disappears because she merged her power permanently with Byleth in an attempt to escape Purgatory and deal with Tomas. It's that famous scene that you might know of from the Fire Emblem, from Byleth's reveal trailer. That's the scene in question where it's like, oh, you have to choose my gift and able to beat them. And yes, I can talk about Fire Emblem's narrative a lot, especially when I know it. Same with Kingdom Hearts, when I know the narrative, I can just speak about it endlessly. So yeah, that is one of the main things that happens, and kind of is why the Church of Saros is really under investigation for a lot of it, because they did experiment on these children. And one of the few that actually did not approve of it was sent down to take care of the Ashen Wolves in the Abyss. He's the main villain of the Abyss arc, which is kind of sad when you think about it. But it's ultimately what happened in the narrative. Now, Sothis is very sarcastic and very snippy. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I gotta deal with things. And what I actually really love about Sothis is that you don't know much about her past, because she doesn't know about her past at all. She only has snippets of it. Like, she doesn't really know how she was born, that she is this deity. It's actually surprising that she's playable in this, considering all things. But I say a lot about their characters. But ultimately, she is alone in the world. She has no memory, and Byleth occurred on her accidentally. Now, one of the things that does help her remind her of her previous life is when Rhea is singing the Edge of Dawn during the dance. The dance where Claude dances with you. Oh, Claude. How I love thee. I was going to say loathe, but it's love. With that being said, it's a really important thing because Sothis starts to regain part of her memory. And what I really love is that Sothis doesn't entirely regain her memory. But in this game, Sothis is a bit more antagonistic because of the existence of the Ashen Demon. The Ashen Demon is basically, we'll talk more about this tomorrow because it is a huge narrative point about Arven, in that Arven is basically her opposite, and it's either one of them lives or dies. Because of that, she's a much more villainous in this one, takes more control of Byleth in the game, whereas the other one, it can be implied that she can take over him, but doesn't really allow it to. So, yeah. I know you're like, oh, she's a mage, and I really don't like mages. I wish she was anything else but a mage, but it kind of fits her character. Is it the unique mage that I keep preaching for, because I really do preach for those type of mages that are a bit more unique than the typical mage, but, you know, we'll make do with what we do. So, yeah, where was I going with my train of thought? I don't know anymore, which is very bad. So yeah, she is not in the majority of the story. In fact, she lasts longer in this game than she does in the base game, which is very surprising. So yeah, because she does essentially die, but merges with Byleth in the main game. In this one, she has to survive again because she's afraid of the Ashen Demon with Byleth, and in turn is trying to protect the Byleth in Byleth. A lot of people argue what the main timeline difference is between the games of Three Houses and Three Hopes, even though it's incredibly implied that the Ashen Demon exists in the original timeline, which feels like Boulder Dash. Because everyone's like, oh, it's if Byleth never met the students. I'm just like, no. I think it's more of the Ashen Demon exists and in turn caused the change in the timeline. Because you experience the character difference so early on. It just doesn't feel like Sothis would be the same character. I feel like the Ashen Demon is more of an has more of an impact on what makes the world the world. Three Houses versus Three Hopes. Yeah, I'm hyper-analyzing this a bit too much for your liking. Hello, soldier. Gotta take care of you. So, yeah. Hello, fighter. Gotta deal with you preferably quick. So, yeah. Let's use Ragnarok because why not? Yeah, I'm running out of things to say because I ran out of things to say in 8 minutes. Impressive. So, yeah. Which is odd because, again, she doesn't remember her past powers. So, I think... It's now implied that she remembers her past life, which is interesting because she has no memory of her previous events. In actuality, it's kind of interesting that almost near-death experience triggered the original Sothis to be awakened, which I think is kind of funny, but okay. My voice is slowly disappearing. In case you can tell, my video started out like, hello everyone, now it's like, ugh. So yeah, there is actually an alternate costume that is DLC. I should talk about this in the original game, which is more closer. And actually, when Sothis and Byleth do merge, it unlocks you a new class, which is basically Warrior Monk, where it's more kind of like your attire is much closer to dear old Sothis, because you wear like the dress and the little head gown thing. It's neat. It's neat. Speaking of neat, I should watch some Simpsons today. I haven't gotten my daily fix of The Simpsons in a while, which is sad, but I also need to catch up on The Bad Batch, because I said so. There we go. We're going to go after you because, yeah, and we're going to go after you too. And here's our Abu. Yeah, she's a jerk even to her own daughter, which is very interesting. See, the thing is with Sothis does not really have an allegiance, again, because she's in existence within Byleth's mind, is that she has no loyalty to any of the houses except for whatever Byleth decides. That's why she becomes like a mercenary, as basically a mercenary as we see in this game, but also because she has to worry about the Ashen Demon as a threat and deal with that as well. So yeah, that be that.
My past might.
Again, it's implied that she knows her past life, which is very odd. Excalibur. And we'll take care of you, and there we go. And hello, Bird. We gotta start dodging your attacks because you're a lot more swifty than you let on, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I still don't know where I was going with that at all. So this video is going to be a bit longer because there is no of the support conversation, unlike Benuela, which was our longest one, because I was so beyond curious to see what our conversation would be like. And it looks like Sothis has a shield. Oh my goodness, that's great.
You have done so well.
I wonder what the relation is now, if it's more like mother and daughter. I would really like to see maybe how the relation between Rhea and Sothis now works. You can't see it, but I'm like holding my hands like Rhea and Sothis. So yeah. I'd be really curious to see how that relation would actually evolve. I don't know if there's a Fire Emblem novel that handles it, like a manga, or something else that dives more into it. Because I'd be curious to know if the relation has henceforth changed to like from mother to mother and daughter to daughter and mother, where Sothis is now like the daughter-like figure, and Rhea is more of not Rhea, because that's a different animated character. So yeah. Dodge. Hello, soldier. How art thou? Thou art fine. That be fine. So we're gonna do 2 more specials, and then we're gonna end the part because I said so. Again, it feels odd that you remember your past life. Oh, that dodge give us a shield. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna get that because it looked handy. And I said so because, yeah, I don't know. I'm losing out of things to say. I feel like I'm going to need a coffee break right after this. Be like, I need to get some milk or something in my throat so I can be like, I'm more energized or can talk again. I haven't had my daily nap today, which is somewhat good because I can just focus on editing. I'm surprised Flame hasn't done a 666 yet. That would have been fantastic, in my opinion. Wow, I think it's almost been a year since we've been playing this game. Wow. And there will be more to come, of course. There's going to be the last character, the dancer class, and then I'm going to do my best to do a New Game Plus run, not recorded, but to try and unlock the Gatekeeper so we can look at the final character and add this to our finished list. But we're going to do one final Smackdown. So yeah, that was Sothis. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because it does help us with the YouTube algorithm. And we will see you tomorrow as we take a look at good old Arven. Oh, Arven. I can't wait to talk about that little can of worms. But till then, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time with more Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Till then, that's it for me. Bye-bye.